And I'm getting to a point where I can start finishing this as a sketch. I'm going to get even darker down here for the shadows. Pretty much define my darkest dark right now. That's what I'm doing. I don't like defining values too early. I used to, and then I met a lot of people who are very talented and far better than I am, and I watched them paint, and I saw how you push and pull. And it's you know, it's not an absolute. It's not something you have to do, but I found that it really helps me. Now I'm painting on the wrong layer again. That's why you couldn't see that. All right. I guess there's a hotkey or a button in Photoshop. If anyone knows it, send me an email and let me know what it is, because I keep accidentally pressing. I think it's Alt and something. When I'm using the eyedropper tool, every now and then I accidentally grab the wrong layer or jump a layer below where I want to be, and it's frustrating. So if you know how to alleviate that little headache, let me know. But as you can see, I'm just finishing up his goatee here, defining the darkest of the shadow. I'm going to put a little bit of light in the bottom of his goatee here. He's got kind of an edge there. Don't want to mud it up too much though. There you go. And I'm going to get a little darker. This is going to be my darkest dark. Not quite black. I don't want to go black with this. I used to think black and white were the extremes, then I realized you can really control. It's like looking through a filter. It's looking through someone's eyes. His chin got too big. I'm going to cut it off a little. But it really is looking through someone's eyes, and you want to see how they're seeing it. And sometimes you look at the world and you don't always see a black, 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 or a white, white, white. I'm not talking about races. I'm talking about colors. So you don't always see that in things in front of you. When you look at light, the sunlight, you look directly at the sun. There's your white. Look at the cloud next to it. That is not white. You can use white to define it based on what you're doing in your painting, but just remember that that's a choice. It's a choice that you're free to make. You're free to choose how you define your darks and your lights, what kind of reference of scale you're going to use for your value scale. You know, you can go out of 1 to 10 on a value scale. You might only push a painting as dark as a 7, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can go ahead and try that. You can bring the lights way up. You can keep it dark. A lot of concept artists I see, if you go to conceptart.org, they work in very dark values, and a lot of them, you know, you'll see a painting that doesn't get past, doesn't get any lighter than a 6 on the value scale, and that's like the highlight, the glares. And then you zoom in and you see the glare is not that, not really that light. It's like a middle value, or it's a gray. It's a dark gray, and it just makes you realize that you don't have to do that to get the right effect. It's all relative. Art is always relative, whatever you're doing. So there we go. I've got his big jowls defined. Realize that I want to bring this out a little more here. I want to have that cut in because I like this shape that I was talking about earlier. I really do. So I'm going to have that just go bam. Then you just say, there's the idea. My one friend Dan always talks about when he draws caricatures, if he has an idea, he wants everyone to know what his idea is. So if he has an idea for a drawing, like he's saying, if someone's, I don't know if Dan said that or if I've said that about Dan's drawings, but either way, someone has told this to me. You get an idea for a sketch or a caricature, you want the idea to sell. You want everyone to know what you're thinking. Maybe Dino or Dion told me that, a couple friends of mine. But it is important. I want you to know that I'm thinking he's got some cheeks on him and he's got some jowls on him. And that's how I see Kanye West. And I want everyone to know that. When, in this drawing, when they look at this drawing, I want you to see, oh, hey, wow, that's funny. He does have jowls. I don't want you to think, wow, that's Kanye West. I wonder why that's funny. You want it to sell as funny for a reason. I mean, there's different ways to make a drawing humorous. If you're doing caricature and you want to put a gag in, or you want to make a statement, make it funny by putting words in the drawing, you know, however you want to handle it, there's a lot of different ways to do it. But just remember that caricature doesn't have to be, but caricature is traditionally defined as being humorous. So I always enjoy that, and it's sometimes just something as simple as an exaggerated likeness can make people laugh. And if it's that simple, then, you know, might as well just have fun. Have fun with it. I'll say that over and over again. Gotta have fun. So I'm just blocking in his shirt here. As you can see, I've got pretty much, it's coming together. It's getting to a point where I can see what I started. It's coming down to a finished product. I've got a nice sculptural feel to his face, especially to his jowls where it's important. And I don't mind it being fairly sketchy because it's just a sketch. It's just for you guys to read and to, I mean, not to read, to listen to and to watch. So I don't need to come to too much of a finished product. I am enjoying finishing it though, but I gotta cut it short eventually. I can't just keep painting forever. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Maybe define his goatee a little more and his glasses a little more. I'm going to have fun in that because that area has a lot going on. So I'm going to maybe speckle in some beard and then get the goatee. I'll show you what I mean when I say it's got a lot going on in the glasses. You don't have to do anything special with the glasses. You can keep it simple how it is. Or you can really start molding what you see in there. A lot of times you'll see the eyes in the reflection, or not in the reflection, but through the sunglasses, and that's the case here. You can see his eyes a little bit. It's very faint, but sometimes it sells that extra effect. Something, you know, gives a little punch of like something interesting to look at, and you can see his expression. You can get more life in it. So I'm just going to do a few more details, and then I'll finish this up. Now I could go in and do a lot of details here, but I'm going to have to start finishing this real soon. I'm just going to create the nice dimension in his nose. He's got an interesting little dip in the middle of his nose, which I'm going to try to have fun with. There you go. You can be very subtle with the values, and it can create a nice bulbous area. Just create it slightly darker and lighter in some areas, and then you can see it sells that effect. I like this shape of his nose. This little whoop, the bridge of his nose kind of rounding off. I think that's funny. Something I just picked up on early and I didn't forget. I'm grab a dark from down here and help define the dark area under his nose, his nostrils. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to just try to finish this as quick as I can. I think I've gone over in my time here. Trying to allow myself to do this quicker and quicker, so I'm just trying to almost rush myself at a point when I know that I'm spending too much time on it, or I start overworking one area. If I ever wanted to do an illustration, I clearly am going to work it up more and I'm going to practice finishing it. But for these podcasts, I want to try to keep it nice and general and give it enough time to where you don't get bored when you're listening to it. That's what's more important. I want you to watch the next one, and I don't want you to feel like, oh crap, that last one, and it was 5 parts and it was 28 minutes, it was an hour long. I want you to be excited about the time that it takes to watch these. So I guess that'll weed out separate the wheat from the chaff, and those that will really want to watch and enjoy this will, and those that don't will just, you don't have to tune in. But I'm hoping that everyone enjoys it. I know you only enjoy art as much as you enjoy art, so I can't make you watch these things, especially if you just, if it's not your thing. Alright, so I've got his goatee building here. Make it tuck underneath. That's fun. And I'm going to define this shadow a little better. Just scratch it in there. Normally I'd be careful and maybe use a texture or go in and paint a little more methodically, but right now I'm just trying to finish this up and get the goatee kind of indicated. There we go.